So let's talk about one of the most intense dramas you'll find in early Buddhism. It's this epic psychological showdown between the Buddha, right after he became enlightened, and his greatest enemy, Māra. Now, this isn't just some old story about good guys and bad guys. Nope. It's actually a deep dive into the human mind, a kind of roadmap for how we can all find our own inner freedom.
All right, here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll figure out who or what Māra really is. Then, we'll look at his 3 favorite tactics: hitting you with fear, tempting you with worldly stuff, and tying you up in mental knots. And finally, we'll see how the Buddha handles all of it with this incredibly simple but powerful response.
Okay, first up, Māra, the enemy within. So, who is this guy? You might be thinking of some kind of demon, right? Horns, pitchfork, the whole deal. But the reality described in the texts is, well, it's a lot closer to home for all of us.
Yeah, so Māra isn't some evil being out there somewhere. In the Pali Suttas, he's basically the personification of everything inside us that gets in our own way. You know that voice of resistance, the impulse that pulls you away from being calm and into chaos? That's Māra. He's our craving, our distraction, our doubt, all of it. They even call him the ender, because he represents that whole cycle of death and rebirth that we're trying to get out of.
And check this out. Māra's playbook is basically a list of all our own weak spots, isn't it? His arsenal covers, the whole human experience. He can hit you with that raw, gut-level fear, but he can also get you with these super subtle philosophical traps. He's got terror, power, lust, pride, and he's not afraid to use your own mind against you.
All right, let's get into his first tactic, the weapons of fear. This is Māra's most brute force approach. He just tries to scare the Buddha. Plain and simple. He waits for the perfect moment and then brings on the horror show.
So try to imagine this, right? The Buddha's just meditating. It's the middle of the night, deep in a forest, totally silent. And then, out of nowhere, this thing shows up. A gigantic, monstrous serpent. This vision is tailor-made for one thing and one thing only, to set off every alarm bell in your brain, to trigger that deep primal fear. It's pure psychological warfare.
And what does the Buddha do? Nothing. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't try to fight it. He doesn't run away. He just speaks. And what he says is incredible. It totally reveals where his strength comes from.
This right here, this is the whole game. He's basically saying, even if the sky split open and the earth started to shake, real safety isn't in the stuff we cling to out here in the world. It's not in the things we think make us secure, what the text calls the foundations of existence. No, true safety is found in a mind that is completely let go. And once he says that, poof, Māra's scary illusion just dissolves. It's got nothing to hold on to.
Okay, so brute force didn't work. Māra has to switch gears. He goes from the stick to the carrot. He tries a tactic that, let's be honest, is probably a lot more effective on most of us, worldly temptations. So Māra shows up and makes this incredible offer. He says, look, you should be a king. You could rule justly. You're so powerful, you could turn the entire Himalayan mountains into pure gold just by thinking about it. Think about that temptation. It's not just about greed. It's about having limitless wealth and the power to do good with it. It's a really clever pitch. But here's the key. The Buddha sees right through it. He diagnoses the problem of desire itself. He sees that it's a hunger that can literally never be satisfied. A mountain of gold wouldn't be enough. He gets that trying to quench craving with more stuff, well, it's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. You don't get happiness, you just get a bigger blaze. So for his grand finale, Māra pulls out the big guns, his 3 daughters. And their names really say it all. You've got craving, aversion, and lust. They are literally the personification of desire, and they come at him in every conceivable form, trying to find just one little weakness, one crack in his composure. And it's a total failure. It's completely useless. The texts say he's so free from what they call the hook of attachment that there's just nothing for them to latch onto. He's totally unmoved. It's like Māra's ultimate weapon just doesn't work on him at all. It's been neutralized. All right, on to the next tactic, the snares of the mind. This is where Māra gets really subtle. Fear didn't work. Temptation didn't work. So now he tries to trap the Buddha with logic, with philosophy, with ideas. This one is just so clever. Māra comes in with what sounds like a basic, undeniable fact of life, right? You have kids, you're happy.
You have possessions, you're happy. He's saying our attachments bring us joy. And the Buddha, he doesn't even argue. He just flips it. He holds up a mirror and says, you have kids? You worry. You have possessions? You worry. He shows that the very same things we cling to for happiness are exactly what cause our greatest suffering.
Okay, but this next one, this might be Māra's smartest attack of all. He sets up this perfect, devastating philosophical trap. And his logic seems totally solid. He says, listen, ascetic, the eye, that's mine. The things you see, also mine. The ear is mine. The sounds are mine. Your whole reality, everything you experience, is built on the senses, and I own the senses. So, where are you going to go? How can you possibly escape me? There's no way out.
And the Buddha's reply just changes the entire game. He doesn't play Māra's logic game. He doesn't try to argue inside that box. Instead, he points to something completely outside of it. He points to nibbana, a state of being that isn't dependent on seeing or hearing or any of it. It's a whole other dimension that Māra, the self-proclaimed lord of the senses, can't even touch. It's an absolute checkmate.
So you see, whether it was fear or temptation or these really clever intellectual traps, the Buddha's response, his winning strategy, was always the same. It was consistent, it was simple, and it was unbelievably powerful. It always boils down to this three-step process. Step one is just to recognize what's happening. The texts almost always start with, and the Buddha knowing this is Māra, so you see the thought, the fear, the temptation, and you just label it. You don't get caught up in it. Step two is to understand its true nature, to see that the fear is just a fleeting feeling, that the desire is just an empty craving. And then step three, respond with wisdom. You don't react with anger or fear, you just respond calmly from that place of clarity.
And this final quote really says it all. Notice, he doesn't say, I've destroyed you, Māra. He says, I am freed from your snare, and because of that, you are defeated. See the difference? Defeating Māra isn't about killing some external enemy. It's about seeing through the illusion so completely that it just has no more power over you. Freedom isn't about winning the fight. It's realizing the fight was just in your head to begin with.
So that kind of leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? These stories, they're not just some ancient mythology. They are a very real, very practical guide for dealing with the Māras that pop up in our own minds every single day. Our fears, our distractions, our doubts. The real question this leaves us with is, how are we going to meet them? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.